All right, welcome back everybody. This will be week 24, June 10th to the 14th, and I'm still trading on the TopstepX Combine. So we'll talk about each of the trades I took for the day and how close I am to passing the Combine. I'm really excited, but I need to, relax and just keep doing what I'm doing, and I'll pass it no problem, I think. Yeah, so let's get right into it. June 10th, Monday. Um, So when starting the session on Monday, it looked like price was in a big uptrend here. I drew a basic trend line and I wanted to wait for price to do a little bit of a pullback. It started doing that a bit, but I was a little bit impatient and didn't wait for price to touch the line like how I wanted. I entered just a little bit early. I put my stop loss, so it was about 7.5 points, or about $300 loss if it had hit, and then my take profit was just above 10 points. What I wanted to do was wait for price to go about 10 points in the money, and then take off a contract and let the other one like run, but it didn't work out like how I hoped because of user error, my error. I looked away for a few moments, and price had hit my take profit for both contracts. So I mean, I was pretty happy picking up, 424 bucks for the day, but it wasn't what I was hoping to do. I'm thinking though maybe it was for the best because I don't know if I would have had enough fortitude to wait for my runner to run, right? Uh, Looking at the price action afterwards, price dropped back down and then kind of came back up again. And I bet I just would have closed the other contract here, thinking it was just gonna kind of bounce off and go back down. Uh, in any case, I'm liking my strategy so far. I trade the price action as best as I can using two contracts to try to pick up 20 points. My reasoning is that it's much easier to find a high probability trade for a movement of 10 points than it is to try to do like one contract for 20 points. This also lets me do a runner situation by taking off one contract if I can kind of manage to pull that off there. Okay, now let's look at June 11th, Tuesday. So I started my session like I usually do. I was even thinking about not making any trades today uh, because I started my session much later than I usually do. But I got on anyway. I drew some levels that I thought may be interesting. I saw there was a level that I thought would be perfect for a good short. So, but when price got to it, I wasn't confident. I decided just to enter with two contracts, and what I should have done was look away from the trade, because while I was watching it, I felt like it was just gonna keep going up, and so I just cut the trade early. So it was like 5 points stop loss. But if I had let it run, it definitely would have hit, and I would have been done for the day. And then around 10:45 or so, I saw there was a bit of an upwards trend again. So I drew a trend line, and when price got pretty close, I entered. I dropped off one contract. That was enough to close off my loss from my first trade. And then my second contract just hit my take profit. So that was great. In hindsight, I could have left it as a runner and picked up more points, but I didn't. And I guess there was a little chance that would have been like stopped out at the tick here. So that would have been really annoying if that happened. I closed the day positive, which I was pretty happy about. But yeah, that was Tuesday. Now let's do Wednesday, June 12th. All right, so I drew two levels when I started my session at my normal time, but the price didn't quite hit those levels during the day. Almost an hour after starting the session, I saw a little bit of a trend line here, so I thought it'd be interesting to trade off of it. Since it was kind of this is the trend line. I didn't have it drawn before, but right here. I was thinking I could go along here and press kind of keep going that way. I thought it had a pretty good chance because the previous hour of the day was a pretty nice upwards trend as well. I entered maybe about like 5 points earlier than I would have liked after drawing the line. I entered and then drew the line. In any case, I would have been stopped out anyway. Then I saw another level forming here that I thought would be good. So I entered long. Unfortunately, price stopped me out again, but this time I was stopped out by a tick. It's like right there. It's a single tick. I was so sad. So uh, on both of those trades, I used 2 contracts. So normally when I trade, if I have a loss of 20 points or $400, then I'm done for the day. But today I just didn't follow my plan like I usually do, and I ended up with a lot bigger loss than I do. I should have just ended trading after my first loss. I typically end when I'm about 20 points down, but I was pretty confident in the second trade. I think I got too excited about being pretty close to finishing the combine, and now I've basically been set back to like halfway, you know. All right, June 13th, Thursday. I started my session at my regular time. Then I drew out 2 levels that I thought had a good chance for a little bounce. Price climbed up to my top level where I had a limit order to go short 2 contracts, and the trade, played out perfectly. It was really clean. I basically entered and went straight to my take profit. I had the take profit set to 20 points from my entry. I felt like it had a pretty good probability of going 20 points. So I just let both contracts hit the 20 points. For a moment, I thought about just taking one contract off, or letting them even run closer to the bottom line that I drew, the bottom of the range. But I decided just to take the 20 points as a base hit. I was pretty happy about doing that because it covered the losses that I had on Thursday. So it's kind of back to where I started. June 14th, Friday. So I started my session a little bit later than I usually do. Not too bad though, not too late. I drew out some levels I thought would be good entries, so I've got them here, here, and here. Let me zoom in. While trying to place a limit order, I accidentally entered a market order. Luckily, price didn't move really fast for me and put me in the hole, so I just closed the trade really fast, and I had like 3 ticks of loss. So when price hit the top level, I drew uh, when it hit the top level that I drew, it filled my limit order for a short entry. I only went with 1 contract, and I usually do 2. I just went with the 1 because I wasn't able to focus as much as I usually do on trading, so I didn't want to make any huge mistakes. Um, but as you'll see, I still made a few mistakes. So when I got filled here at my limit order, um, as usual, the brackets for like the stop loss and the take profit showed up as usual, but I moved my take profit closer, but I placed it right on top of another limit order that I had at the middle level here. So I had a limit order here to go long, and I moved my take profit right on top of it, so the two um, little markers are right on top of each other. So I went to cancel the limit order that I had, but I accidentally canceled the take profit because they're right on top of each other. It's like, dang, let me put in order to close the short. But I must have mixed it up in the little drop down or misclicked because I accidentally put a limit order for a sell, right? A short. So that means when price gets to my what I thought was my take profit, I would just be adding on another contract to keep going short. So when price did hit that, I was very surprised to see that I was in 2 contracts, and I immediately panicked and hit the flatten all button. Luckily for me, it was a pretty good trade. I had a few points, shaved off of that because of my little mistake there. I'll take the profit. It doesn't show here because I took the screenshot after the day ended. Um, but I kind of wish that I had entered with the usual 2 contracts like I usually do. If I had, I would have passed the combine, which would have been really nice to end the week on. But that's okay. I knew I was going to be distracted anyway, so I just wanted to minimize the risk that I was going to see. Let me zoom out. Yeah, you can see the kind of the trades here. This is the market order that I accidentally messed up on. My original trade, and then the accidental second contract that I entered. Cool. So now let's just look at the performance stats. It's like all messed up. So it shows the 13th, but Friday was the 14th. And it seems to me that all of these tabs here, all of the Fridays are missing, right? So like there's no Friday here, there's no Friday here, there's no Friday anywhere. The daily balance total is correct, but it's not showing for the right day, right? Because it shows 52,763 and 17 cents, which is my balance right now. But it shows it for the 13th, which is Thursday. So yeah, pretty weird. In any case, I can say I ended this week up $903, and that's minus the fees. So I'm really happy about that. So Monday, I just need to, pick up, like $247 basically to put me over the passing threshold for the combine. Basically just a little, 10-point trade. Or maybe if I go 2 contracts, just 5 points. Who knows? But yeah, that's it. I'm very excited about next week. I'm very happy with my performance this week, even though I did make a few major mistakes, mostly being the ignoring my daily loss limit and just losing $800. If I had just kept my loss limit, I'd be past the combine right now. Anyways, that's it. Thank you very much for watching.